Hello, my name is Shudley and welcome back for another episode of Hearthstone 3 in Black Eyes as previously. So, in previous episode, we are still fighting on the massive combat in Himeji over here. It's like, we are definitely inflicting a lot more casualties than we're taking, but of course we are still taking some casualties in there. In the west, we had to start retreating our troops because the enemy bombardment was getting too strong, and a lot of our troops were, well, some of our troops were risking getting shattered. Some of those being now in here. We are probably going to be pulling out of Ukraine entirely, and we're going to rotate to the north to start clearing out the area near Moscow, so at least over there we'll have a bit better chance of getting the fuel that we need. And of course we can then maybe, like, there's not that many units in here is the thing, but of course the Soviets aren't really in a shape to do a lot of counterattacking in there, so if we can get our troops in there, start encircling a few units at a time and destroying them, we can then slowly start to whittling down the Axis presence in the Eastern Front. And also, we might have a slightly better chance of having a air coverage in here, especially if we were to move our planes into Moscow. That might actually not be a terrible idea, but we need to get our troops out of here first, and that's going to take a little while. We're also going to be getting some more planes soon enough. Also, next month we'll be getting a lot of industry. That'll be good. Of course, that does mean that we might need a bit more metal then. The question is, of course, where do we have the highest metal nodes? So Taiwan is already maxed out. I think Mukden, I don't know if we built that one all the way. We have. Then Zhengzheng is already done. Zhongjing is probably also done. Yeah, that's already maxed out on steel. Yan'an and 9. I suppose that could be upgraded. We could also get the coal field in here, not that we necessarily need the energy too much, but if our industry keeps on increasing the speed that it does, then we might need a bit more. Ooh, that's not looking strong for our fighters there. So we had to pull back to the next river line in here. I think we made... I'm going to hold on to Vinitsa for a little bit, if I can, but there's... Oh, aircraft prototype evaluation, there we go. That's ahead of time, I reckon. Indeed it is. Oh, and actually we've got 2 more techs over there that we don't need to research quite yet. So we can prioritize other things in the meanwhile. Right, so there's another mechanized division that will probably need to retreat. Actually, there's one of the infantry divisions as well that needs to retreat soon. But I think the mechanized division might have to be the first one. Oh, the first mechanized corps has joined the combat again. Well, at least that means that Iliescu over here will be gaining some traits as well. Well, Uman is under attack. Now, that's not too bad of an attack. That's going to be an easy victory, actually, I reckon. And the enemy is low on supplies, although they're sending in more troops into the combat now. But yeah, the situation is dire, to say at least. I think we may need to retreat these planes out of here. That's pretty bad shape there, I dare say, for the planes. I'm going to go ahead and rebase these in Moscow. That way we at least will have a somewhat of a guarantee of supplies. Oh, and social volunteers. Ooh, officer recruitment 60% boost there. That's good. Heavy air guns advanced, so that is something that we've got over here. That can be dropped now. So down to 190 research. Very good, very good. We've got almost 750 total IC. I don't know how well that compares to the German IC. I think they might have some problems with some supplies. Oh yeah, rare materials seems to be 0. Of course, I'm pretty sure that they will get some of that through events soon enough. So it's not really going to be that much of an impact. But at least the base IC, we're not that far behind of them. In the end, the Japanese, we've got a lot more IC than they do. And the manpower situation for them should be still pretty bad. They got a bit of... Well, we estimate that they got dissent, but I don't think they actually do. No, they don't. Okay, I think it's time to retreat another mechanized unit. Plus that infantry division. Infantry can go down there, so we'll have the mechanized stuff over here on the faster approach, essentially. We should still have... Yeah, we've still got 15 units in there. That's going to be more than enough. We might send in another unit in there. Maybe I'll go back there. But like, we can still keep the rotation going at the combat. They got back to 181 units total. Well, eventually I'm pretty sure that they just have such a huge amount of reinforcement they need to pay that they can't get the troops reinforced quickly enough because their industry is reduced. Or is already very much reduced. Actually also reminds me, we've got the landing craft up here now. There's not too many defenders defending Shizuoka. Oh, actually, is that... Right, that's too far away. I'm going to assign that directly under the main HQ then. Just so that we've got a bit more leeway in here. I'm going to go ahead and probably just land all of these, actually, into Malka. And then from there, we'll probably be able to hold back the enemy. Clear out either one of these ports, and then clear out the island. We can actually utilize the bombers that we have in here to start doing some ground attack in there. Of course, light bombers. So actually, it's going to be doing a lot better in ground attack probably than strategic bombardment. But that way, ooh, cruise of high control. And that way we can maybe... Oh, the enemy does have a bit of lack of supplies in here. Because, of course, they have a very low amount of convoys available. Right, so we are slowly getting the pillbox in here. Have we? I don't think we've gotten any of the levels yet. No, not yet. And we're pulling back some of the troops, so we may need to pull back another unit soon-ish. But we've still got plenty of reinforcements. And the enemy has definitely... Like, a lot of the infantry units that they have currently in the combat have taken a lot of losses now. I think just another one shattered. And, well, they've still got a lot of units in here, mind you. So this is going to be probably somewhere around 1 million casualties total in this combat once it's over. Right, how's the situation in Oman? We are holding back the enemy there. I don't... that doesn't look good from the north. I'm going to go ahead and start retreating these. Those are going to walk the normal way, but these are going to redeploy. And we need to pull back basically out of Ukraine. I don't think we're going to hold in here. I'm also going to start retreating from Odessa. That does mean that the Soviets will have to find some other airfields and all that, but it's just is how it's going to have to be. We've got another one of the infantry units over here that could probably redeploy. They will have some problems with fuel, but at least we can reinforce for a while and regain the organization for the most part. Small caliber tank cannon advance. That's 1947 tech, so that can be dropped from the list for the time being. So we've got less than 190 techs now that we're trying to research. It looks like the province over here should be open. Why are you selling all the way around? Oh no. Oh no, this is going to be bad, isn't it? Well, it could be bad at least. You know what, how about we just move in here? We'll do it manually. So that we're at least a close proximity. Oh, Odessa is under attack. We had one of the units trying to retreat, didn't we? Yeah, well, I suppose we can hold back the battle against the Germans for a little while. Yeah, attacking into a somewhat fortified... Well, actually, it's not... Well, it is kind of fortified, but it's not really. It's a coastal fortification in there, I suppose. There is a bit of pillboxes, but that doesn't really make much of a difference. Oh, and Vinitsa, I think I told these to retreat, but I suppose we can hold back the enemy for a while. We can probably win this combat, at least initially, against the Hungarians. And there we go. Another ground attack there. Right, so the landing craft is almost ready. We'll get into the southern Tartar Strait and then do the landings in Malka. Then we'll clear out the northern province, or the port first, I reckon. Well, we're slowly holding back. Oh, that's some SS division in there. Alright, they're not necessarily the finest troops. Oh, and we got a bit of air combat over Himeji. There we go, we wrecked those planes. We may need to send another mechanized division back. Go ahead and start sending some of these troops back into the combat. There's a lot of units that have not got the digging bonus anymore. So we might start taking a bit more casualties. Well, there we go. We got the victory in here. We're slowly moving through. But we are definitely risking on getting encircled over here in Ukraine, so we need to retreat. We need to definitely pull back, and then what we need to do is we need to start making sure that Moscow doesn't fall. Oh, we got naval combat. Oh, it's the... Right, we're going to lose some assault ships, aren't we? Well, that's a risk that I'm willing to take. If we can sink... Well, we're not going to sink that. We just lose another one of those assault ships. But there's no real other location for us to have these. But I guess we'll just go ahead and send these back to harbor there. That doesn't mean that we don't get the shore bombardment on the enemy. But even then, we can still probably hold back the enemy for the most part. Right, we got the troops ready. Let's go ahead and land in here. And clear out, hopefully both at the same time. Well, at least almost at the same time. They are moving one of the garrisons now, which does mean that once we do another bombing run there, very shortly, that's going to be taking a lot more damage. And at least our defenses over here are holding, while we're slowly retreating. But it's just the problem is that the Germans might be cutting us off in here in the north, or west of Kharkov. So that's not really great for us. I guess one of the things that I could do is I could get some troops in here to guard the northern flank. Let's get one over there. One in here. One over there. We've got another one that can probably go to Dnipropetrovsk to at least provide some protection there. I mean, if we can hold on to, like, if need be, we can retreat down towards Crimea and just hold on to that. Oh, there we go. So we're currently under attack, but of course that's a garrison attacking us, so it's not going to be doing too much. And actually, is there really... There was no one in Tohara. Okay, well, I'm going to start moving down that way then. If we can capture that port, that'd be brilliant. Well, the garrison's not going to last very long. Oh, and there we go. We did win the battle against the battleship again. Oh, they had both of the battleships in here. Well, there we go. Hostile bombing at Odessa is not great news for us. We'll start retreating the infantry from there. The mechanized division can still probably hold on for a little bit. Oh, there we go. Victory at Oman. And yeah, there's another attack in there. But yeah, the Soviets are collapsing slowly but surely in here. Despite us giving us a decent bit of, or despite us giving them a decent bit of help. Now, one of the things that I could do, like, if need be, I can start retreating all the way into Siberia. Even if the Soviets fall, it's going to take a whole lot of time and effort for the Soviet, or the Germans to then be able to reach us. And of course, they'll then start fighting the Allies in Iran and all that. So if we start fighting them in here, somewhere, I think we could potentially start fortifying the border in here, to be fair. Just in case the Soviets fall. I'm not hoping that they will, but there's always a risk that they will. But of course, at that point, they are going to be so far away with the supply lines that there's not a lot of airfields. So we will have the advantage in here. We could probably go ahead and start building some airfields in here as well. There we go. So we're preparing for the worst. Of course, if we can wreck Japan, then we'll have a lot more troops to bear towards the Germans and all that. Oh, they're sending both of their units attacking now. Well, that does mean that the bombing runs are going to be even more effective. And we are going to be taking, hopefully, the port in here. I don't think the Japanese have their transport fleets in here, so they won't be able to do much about that. And we may need to retreat another unit here shortly. Actually, most of them are still fine. The enemy units are definitely taking... Oh, and there we go. We got some beach defenses now. Did we get the... No, we did not get the pillbox in here yet, but I think that might be... Is that tomorrow, perhaps? 4 more days. Okay. Of course, it's not going to have an impact in the current combat yet. I don't think so. It's not necessarily going to be much of an impact. I think the anti-aircraft guns are probably going to be better impact on this, because that means that the enemy bombers will start taking damage from it. And they still got 184. Okay, so they have gotten more units into the combat again. Our offer ratio is slowly increasing again. It's down to 80, or up to 87% again. We've still got 18 units in the combat, so we might be able to pull back some more infantry. At least, oh, right, the general needs to pull back. Is that, that's not me, that's, Nikola Marjanovic. That can pull back. Then we've got 17 units here still total. We may need to retreat some more infantry soon enough, but, oh, there we go. Victory Makoka, or Marka. And that means there's no one, oh yeah, we're actually shattered there. Alright then, well, let's go ahead and move someone in there. And the other 3 can continue moving down south. So that's denying the crude oil from for the enemy, and that's actually going to give us a bit more metal. We can then use that airfield to start doing some strikes in here. We can maybe prepare for another landing at some point, although I think we still need to kind of win the battle in here, or at least get a decisive victory overall. Let's see, so 46th Division needs to pull back. But we've still got a decent, like, we are getting the organization back fairly quickly. We're getting or reinforcing the troops fairly quickly. So overall, I think we can keep this going for a long while. Now the question is, how long can the Japanese keep it going? One of the things that we could actually start doing is, did we get the tactical bomber group? So we've got some close air support in here. I don't know, there's not necessarily going to be a lot of things that we can do with it, but maybe we can bring it in here, for the time being at least. And then start using maybe on something in here. I don't know what we'll do with it, to be fair. But we'll have that one. The tactical bomber group. We got a second tactical bomber, did we? Yeah, that's the second tactical bomber. And they're not actually doing anything. So what I'm thinking, actually, is I could maybe... Well, the range isn't that massive. We could potentially bring it to Hiroshima, or maybe one of the other airfields that we have in here. And then start utilizing that on doing strategic bombing in more sort of the... heartlands of Japan, well, rather maybe northern parts of Honshu. Actually, Akita would be quite a nice target. I don't think we'll have the range for that. No, it's going to be too far away. Well, Niigata is one option. Tungsten, we can sell that to Australia, get some money from that. How's the Japanese unity currently, actually? Still 99.9. So, yeah, that's not a lot of progress there. There's a rifle division in here. I think we're going to go ahead and start retreating our troops. We were already trying to retreat, but then we've got delayed. We've got some troops over there. Do we have? Yeah, we've got another one in here. So that's going to get to Dnipropetrovsk. We'll slowly start pulling back a little bit further and further. Any troops over here that are in desperate situation? Not really. This one's a bit of bad shape, though. That was the mechanized division that just retreated. So you're going to... Actually, is that... This one's got 4 divisions. Okay, so we can pull back that into Berezanka. Start digging in there, regaining organization, all that. Oh, and we got some upgrades done. Sure, we can give a bit of fuel to the Soviets, I suppose. Because they are having a lot of... Oh, there we go. Owari has joined in here again. Well, tried to at least. We did not sink it, unfortunately. I think. Oh, it did sink it. Oh, wow. We sank a Japanese battleship. If we can just sink the other one, then we can have our assault ships over here providing a short combat again, unhindered. Okay, 44th Division needs to pull back. Let's see, it's... oh, that one probably needs to pull back as well. And that one, there we go. So that's providing a bit more. We can probably send the mercenary in. It's got the heavy artillery. And then we can maybe send in the armored division. So we've got quite a bit of troops in there, mind you. But we do need to have a good rotation going in. There's another 2 enemy units that will be either surrendered or pulled off the combat or shattering. One way or the other. But we should have... well, actually, no, we haven't taken Sakhalin yet. But we've got a port now. There we go. So while it's not a massive port, we should actually get the airbase a few upgrades there. Maybe the naval base a little bit as well. And then we're going to be taking the northern half soon enough. I suppose the light bombers now aren't really needed in here. We can maybe start doing a bit of... no, that's too far away. Can't really do strategic bombing into Japan. Unless we go ahead and rebase maybe in Vladivostok. I don't know if that's going to be any closer. Not really. Okay, so yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. Well, there's a lot of damage done to the enemies. We've got some heavy armor in here, so that means that the enemy can't really pierce a lot of that. Still doing the bombing around some Druka. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how much exactly the Japanese have got on deficit of manpower now with all the damage that they've taken. Because they have definitely taken a lot of it. And now we've got 15 units still in the combat. We've got our 16th division entering in here. And there's the pillbox now. Now, of course, it's not really going to be effective anytime soon. I'm going to go ahead and start getting the naval bomber group up here. How's the situation in Ukraine? We may need to start pulling back a little bit further. Regrouping these 2. And then these ones, I think I'm going to start retreating a bit further east as well. A lot of the Soviet troops might get surrounded and shattered now, but it's the risk that I'm going to have to take. Well, I'm willing to take it right now, because I do not want to have my troops get encircled because of Soviet failures. Go ahead and start pulling some more troops back. Now, of course, well, I suppose we do not have any air coverage in here either, which is not helping. Go ahead and start retreating another one of these. How are planes doing in Moscow, I suppose? It's a good question. We've got some okay planes in there. Suppose we could go ahead and just start doing air intercepts along here on daily. Just Moscow right now. And once we start getting control over Moscow at least, then we can start maybe increasing the radius that we're trying to cover for. But we've sank 1 enemy battleship now. We've still got 1 more to sink, at least. What are the Japanese building? They don't really have any production going by the looks of it. At least according to our spies, which might not be entirely accurate. Ooh, there's another air combat. Can we shoot down? Oh, yeah, there we go. Those closer air support are not going to be flying in here for a little while. Oh, and we're getting twin-engine fighters. Right, that's going to be for another tactical bomber group, so we'll just start building up in here. So that's a lot of planes that we're getting. Actually, have we got on the construction? No, we haven't got on the hangar bay maintenance unlocked yet. But that would be useful to get, that's for sure. Because that's actually, it's only 6 more squadrons away. So not that far off. The enemy is still, oh, 188 units now attacking, okay. How many of those are shattered or previously shattered? A lot of them are pretty low on strength, at least. On the lower half of the list, but there's still probably at least like 150 units that are still basically full strength. Oh, Sovereign is under attack. Okay, that's not great. We did retreat a little bit troops again. We could probably go ahead and start pulling these back. Get 1 over there, and then these 2 slowly pull back. Maybe, well, we'll wait a little bit. Oh, Odessa is empty, actually. Oh, and the Soviets are moving troops into the transports up here. Alright then. Oh, and we're under attack in here. Well, the Kampfgruppen is not necessarily going to fare all that well against us. Now, bombing runs in Taruga are still... Oh, wow, that's 1,000 casualties actually there. Well, that's another manpower, basically, that they'll need to pay back. And how soon do we get the... Oh, it's going to be taking another 3 days over here. Okay, so getting the port over there is going to take a while. But probably not quite ready to do landings into Hokkaido. Although I think the enemy probably doesn't have that many troops in there. So if we were to, for example, take some of the infantry corps over here that we have available. Start regrouping these. For example, these could go to Hanhong. And then we've got this corps that we can send into... probably Busan. Actually, that reminds me, we've got the torpedo boats. Oh, I wonder, if we send these to Beppu, would that be close enough to... Oh, it is close enough to Seto Nakai. So what we could do is we could have these and the interceptor route in there. Of course, it might be a bit of too much ships to send into the combat. Admittedly, but still, it could be useful. There's going to be another enemy unit probably shattering. At least I'm hoping that it will be a gun turret advance, a small ATOS radar advance. Of which both of those are actually ahead of time. But there we go. That's a few less text to research. Well, 2 in this case, but still. 5 more days and we'll get the industry. Or start getting some more of the industry. The petroleum refinery is going to be in October. When did we get the oil rig? Oh, we just got an oil rig, did we? Now, was it over here? It was. Oh, there we go. We're getting 40 crude oil already from here. And if we can keep on increasing the level in here, which might take a little while. Let's just take a look. Advanced resource substitution, is it in here yet? No, I think it's like 3 or 4 months that it takes, so we haven't gotten far enough to get a second or a third level of that. But we definitely want to start increasing the crude oil production because we need a lot of oil. While we don't have that massive mechanized armies yet, we are selling some of the fuel, and of course we got quite a plane, so we do have need for it. But there should be another enemy infantry unit shattering soon enough. And slowly but surely, the amount of enemy units in here in the combat is reducing. I suppose another thing that I could do is I could start making a bit more of the various HQ detachments over here for the various troops in Japan. So we can use the commanders of these corps as commanders of that combat, for example. Close air support prototype to level 9, that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so basically what we need is probably less, or we don't need the logistics unit in there, it's going to be fairly slow anyway. Engineer is kind of okay, although we could maybe do something different. So let's see, we want to have it infantry. We'll probably want to put in the heavy artillery in there for max damage. Essentially, heavy AT is probably not a bad idea. We could probably put even the heavy AA in there. So that's a very heavy unit, that's for sure. And then we've got room for one more thing. Could maybe put the assault guns there. That would give us a bit of armor. It's, well, it's a little bit expensive, mind you, but actually, how much? It's not taking that much fuel, or supplies for that matter. Need a bit of officers, though. But that would reduce the softness a bit further. Alternative, well, actually, we got the AT, so that's already covered the direct fire units. We got the AA covered. Engineer could be okay. Make support might not be a bad one either, to be fair. That would give even more damage. Especially air attack is going to be 30 now. So that's pretty decent. We could build it as reserve, but the difference isn't going to be that massive. So I'm just going to build it as regulars this time around. We'll build 5 of these. Well, eventually we might need some more of these. But this is basically going to be our units for the headquarters, or the core HQs that we have in here that kind of need to take part in combat. Oh, and there we go. They got some bombers over our province in here. We haven't gotten the anti-aircraft guns in here. We'll probably build a few extra levels on that just to be on the safe side. There we go. That's another combat one there. And Sakhalin is almost completely ours now. So again, that's not a huge amount of crude oil that they produce in here, but it is crude oil that they won't be producing now. So actually, I do wonder, how is their situation in terms of oil? They got quite a bit, actually, according to this. But of course, I don't think these estimations are accurate. They should still have plenty of supplies and fuel. Manpower is 0. Oh, according to our spies anyway. Now, whether that is accurate or not remains to be seen. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do a quick little attack over here in Druka. They had 108,000 men in there. They're probably going to do a counterattack now, but we can hold off that one. And we are under attack over here. We may need to start retreating some of these troops. Actually, a lot of these troops were already retreating. We're going to retreat to infantry first. The motorized division can still stay there. Oh, there we go. Now there's a counterattack in Mazuru. And that is going to be taking a lot of casualties. But there we go. The submarines sinking the battleship. That was a pretty nice feeling. And what do we get? Oh, defensive position, right. We could potentially get the officer recruitment program, but I don't want to lose leadership. We can get the officers recruited over time, but it's just going to take a while. Of course, if we're taking a lot of losses, then that's not really going to be helping us, but oh well. So we've got 16 units in here. We may need to retreat the Corps HQ, or the 1st Mechanized Corps, from there soon enough. The Northern Combat, that's going to be an easy victory. The enemy's going to be pulled out of there. Yeah, there we go. And they took a lot of casualties in the 7,000 men lost in that combat. Pretty decent. Okay, yeah, the 1st Mechanized Corps is going to have to retreat now, as that is what I've agreed. Of course, we're getting a lot of traits in here, probably, with the units in the combat. So that's not really a bad idea. I mean, it's probably going to be like Hills Fighters or something like that. Ooh, rubber to Australia. Do we have enough? No, we only got 4, so no, we're not going to sell that. And of course, we don't have the crude oil to expand our synthetic rubber production right now. Thanks to probably selling some of it to the Soviets. We're selling... Actually, we're still importing a whole lot of stuff from the Soviets. Which, to be fair, we could probably go ahead and start reducing some of these. We don't need that much rare materials, for example. That allows them to have maybe a little bit larger stockpile for themselves. Not that they necessarily need any. They probably need the money rather than the stuff. But yeah, we can reduce these a little bit. We might want to keep on buying the metal. Because we are actually... Well, we're not buying huge amounts. We do kind of need that. The energy, we do not need. So we're going to end those trades as well. That does mean that our relations with Soviets are reducing quite drastically. But that's fine. We're selling them some fuel for free. If they need supplies or anything, we're going to easily support that as well. Plus, I suppose with our troops being in their lands, they are getting a little bit of fuel and supplies. Or basically, we're paying for those units. Oh, delay and diversion. That's in the human wave. So is that... we can't research that currently. Okay. Well, that's fine. So that's another tech that we don't need to be focusing on then. At least for a few moments. But if they've still got 180... Actually, 187 units taken from Osaka, that is a lot. Also, we are starting to take quite a bit of organization damage on some of these troops. Slowly but surely, especially since we basically have no one with the digging bonus anymore. I think we rotated everyone at least once out of here. But at the same time, the enemy is still taking a lot of casualties. Oh, major defeat. Oh dear, that's shattering. That's bad. Right, I forgot to move that unit away from there. Right, well, I suppose that means that it's down here, which means that it's going to have to start deploying towards probably Stalingrad. That's going to be a nice stopping point there along the way. Oh, the Germans have reached there. Okay, we need to start retreating our troops along here a little bit further. So I'm just going to go ahead and start moving. Let's see, what can we do? That one's still retreating, so we kind of need to hold on to this province for now. In the north, we can maybe start retreating at least one to there. Another one over there, and then pull in here. So slowly but surely we can reduce the combat width. And then eventually get out of this combat entirely. But that's probably going to be easier said than done. Or much, much easier said than done. There's a bit of Soviet troops, so it's not really that strong, but I'm going to pull back these to the river line. Or, well, to the river at least, and then eventually across the river. And slowly but surely get into safe positions in Himeji. The enemy still got a lot of units attacking, of course. But they are definitely taking a lot of casualties in here. Unfortunately, there's so many troops in there that if we even try to do a ground attack in there, it's going to fail. But in the meanwhile, at least the enemy is taking such a massive casualties in there. Oh, Sovereign is on attack. Okay, were these moving? No? Okay, well, they've dug in then. We can probably hold them back. We are having some... Oh, right, one of them just retreated in there. That's why we've got the supply shortage. Well, we can probably defeat these and then we'll start retreating again. Because the air coverage in here is just so massive for the enemy that we can't do much. We've still got the planes around Moscow. And these are resting. Oh, right, because they haven't taken any of the planes. Oh, because these are not set to reserve. Okay, there we go. Let's fix that one then. So now we'll be able to maybe start flying around Moscow again. Oh, there we go. A bit of air combat. Oh, actually, the reserve group is, or air group is actually in the combat. Well, there we go. Maybe we'll start damaging German planes a bit further. But yeah, no, the Germans have taken a lot of ground in here. I think the Soviets just do not have the strength to fight anymore. And I don't really have the strength to fight the entire front line against, especially with such a huge air support or air superiority on the enemy side. But I think we can still salvage it. It's just we need to retreat. We need to go ahead and start getting to, like, maybe let them extend their front line in the south a lot further. while we start to slowly reducing the enemies in here, and then eventually cut down south again, clear out whatever they have, like east of Rostov, for example, and then start pushing back. So it's just a long-term plans in here. Long-term plans. The Americans still hold on to Paris, and they have taken Oh, actually, no, they haven't taken Dunkirk back. They still hold Calais, and they're still fighting a lot in northwestern Spain, but it's probably a very painful experience in there because they only got one port, and the AI is just very, very bad at increasing the port sizes. Even if they should really be able, or like they should probably increase those, especially in like various landings, but they just ignore that entirely. And so they wonder why their 100 motorized or mechanized divisions don't have fuel and supplies to move forward. Well, let's do one more quick attack into Truga. So they've still got 103,000 men. And over here in Himeji, oh, there they go. There's the counterattack. There's 10,000 men attacking. But that battle shouldn't take too long. How many do we have? We've got 15 units in here. I suppose another motorized division should probably retreat now. We'll send that one down south. We'll send a few mechanized divisions up north. There we go. We've got another mercenary division in the combat. Oh, theater HQ advance. Basic education investment. I believe that latter one is definitely ahead of time. What about the theater HQ? Is that... well, I suppose that's over here, isn't it? Yeah, that's something that we can't research right now anyway. Oh, there we go. There's a 4,000 casualties in Maizuru for the enemy. And definitely a lot of the troops attacking from Osaga, not looking too strong. A lot of the... like, if we... I suppose we can't see it currently, which is a shame. We do have the... oh, right, the HQ. Let's actually bring it in here. So we're preparing potentially... well, especially now that we cleared out Sakhalin. We could potentially do landings into Hokkaido. What we'll probably want to do is do landings into, like, Tatana. We may need to send in some submarines or something there. Which one can we spare? Probably this group. Now the question is... oh, actually, they can move there. Okay, so let's move there with the submarine so we can stop them from moving troops into Hokkaido. And then next episode, we'll probably start doing the landings in there. If we can clear out that island, that's going to be yet another... that's going to be the chromite that they have in there. So that leaves them with... well, they got the monument, a military academy for military, and then, of course, they got the dockyard facilities. But that's going to be all the strategic resources, really. I mean, okay, they've got the Pacific momentum things in here, which actually... who controls... so I suppose if those were showing red, then those were held by the Japanese. Well, I suppose the... oh, the Americans, right. They control Wake Island. But they haven't gotten too much further west over there yet. The Borneo and Java situation haven't really changed at all. But I suppose the Allies are still focusing a lot on, like, the European theaters, so that kind of makes sense. Or the more European. I suppose, yeah, Italy and France and Spain. But anyway, with that, we are unfortunately out of time with this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.